money, dude. They were raking in money. We have made the difficult decision to close all Morphe stores. Hi everyone, I'm Gabriel Zamora and thank you so much for watching. Today's video, we are diving deep into what's going on with Morphe. I like to do deep dives into makeup brands and kind of what's been going on around them, like what is the buzz, what is everybody talking about. I'm very nosy and I love chismes, so I said, why not dive into what's going on with Morphe? I feel like I've been seeing it all over my TikTok For You page. So one night I just like hit one of the hashtags and I was just watching video after video after video. If you don't know what's going on, that's why I'm here, babes, because I have time to be nosy on the internet, okay? I have time. So I gathered some information, you know what I mean? And I'm also gonna be doing my makeup, so I thought, why not sit down and gossip with you as I do my makeup? So if you wanna know what's going on with Morphe, so dramatic, then keep on watching. Okay, everyone, let's start off. So I do have a pimple patch right here. I am obsessed with these, but it looks like this. It comes with like 24 little patches. I'll link them down below. You can find them on Amazon for so cheap. Like it almost literally looks like my skin tone. What foundation should I use? I know I used this one last time, but like I really am obsessed with it. I haven't gotten my hands on the Makeup by Mario one, which everybody's raving about. I'll keep y'all posted if I ever do, but I feel like, girl, I have so much foundation. Like, look at that. That's all foundation. Also, that's my baby. And I'm gonna stand beside him. And I'm gonna rep him. I don't care if you threw her phone. If you don't want Bad Bunny to throw your phone, get a little strap, babes. Just be like, hey. And then when he grabs it, it's like, ah, my wrist, I'm gonna sue you. Unless you fuck me. Gabriel, this is not about the makeup. I feel like y'all are more interested in the chisme. If you don't know what chisme is, then you need to ask God why she made you boring. If you're not Latina, then tú no tuviste suerte. Like, I'm sorry, but you know, I can't help it that I'm bilingual. So yummy, dude. Look at that. There's been so much conversation around Morphe on TikTok, and I've been seeing it because I was like, yo, what's going on? And it was this specific TikTok right here that was like, oh, you inadvertently walked into a Morphe and they're doing like a big closeout sale. And then people started to stitch it, and there was this one girl who was like, oh, that's my store. So I started to like really dive into it because, you know, I have time. So I was like, what is going on with Morphe? Because I was like, okay, like they're closing a few stores. I started to like think like, okay, well maybe because of the pandemic, like they opened too many stores. Maybe people are just not shopping as much as we intended, because having physical stores is very expensive as opposed to having just an online retail space. Like think about it. You have to pay rent, you have to pay utilities for that building, you have to pay the employees, you have to pay for stock to be in those specific stores. So that means you have to pay for shipping. Like there's so many costs that go into having physical stores. I worked in retail and I worked in clothing retail, so I feel like I have an idea as to like what the process is of having a physical store. And if you're like, oh, can you put makeup on top of that? Yes, but you end up like wiping it away anyways. Like, and if somebody asks, what is that on your face? Just be like, bitch, it's tape. And they're like, why do you have tape on your face? Why do you care? We need to normalize having pimple patches in public. Before we get into the drama and the mess, we have to do a little history as to who is Morphe. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all already know who Morphe the brand is, but I wanted to do like a quick little like history lesson or like a little recap type of situation. I've done that with all the other brands. I did it with Kylie Cosmetics. I did it with KKW. If we're gonna do a bit of a deep dive, let's do like a real like slight history lesson. So a lot of the history that I got from Morphe, I cheated, I'm not gonna lie. I just remember this video specifically. So check, I'm gonna link her video down below. Smoky Glow, love her. She does super like good deep dives into brands and influencers and different things. And she did one in 2020 all about Morphe. I'll tag it down below as well. Morphe Brushes was started in 2008 by Linda and her brother. At this point in today's time, I believe Linda is no longer technically like associated with Morphe. I think she's like been bought out. She sold it. Honestly, goals. I heard something because I tried to find her Instagram and I couldn't find it. And I was like, did Linda Morphe block me? What? So I was like, oh my gosh, she blocked me. But then I like went on my other accounts. I was like, okay, she didn't block me. And then I found out that she deleted her Instagram page because she wanted to focus on her daughter and her family. And I was like, goals, bitch, goals. Make a brand, sell it for a shit ton of money, and then disappear off the internet. Goals! Ugh, I want to be Linda Morphe. Like, what? Wow, imagine being Linda Morphe. I would live. A lot of the products that I'm going to be using are part of my best makeup products of 2022. So if you want to know more, go check that video out. I'm going to be using pretty much the same product. In a few videos, I'm going to do a video testing out new products, so keep an eye out for that. So what made Morphe really popular back in the day was their price point. Like, their price point just unmatched in the world of brushes, especially because I remember like when I was really first getting into makeup, I was like, yo, like brushes are expensive. They would be like $24, $20 for like one brush. And like a lot of the time, like I remember back then it was like, oh, you just go to MAC. You know what I mean? Like those are the best brushes and you pay like $15 for a little eyeliner brush and like $50 for like a brush like this. It was what it was. And like you had to like really save up and invest. And Morphe came along and really just disrupted that. Oh, you can get great quality brushes without having to break the bank and really create like a big collection of brushes. In the beginning, I felt like Morphe's like main mission was make everything super affordable. Like almost like, oh my God, how are y'all able to sell this at these prices? Like remember the 35O palette? Like it was 35 shades for I think like 20 something dollars. I was like, that big ass fucking, do I have it? So it was basically this. This is the only 35 pan palette that I have from Morphe. This is the Jaclyn Hill 2 palette. Still love it. Still so pretty. But it was basically like this many eyeshadows for like, how are y'all selling it at that price point? I remember that. It was like crazy. That's what everybody was going crazy for. In the beginning, the quality was like good. I feel like over time, the quality got really good. So their prices were great. Where I feel like Morphe really excelled was their relationship with social media influencers and social media in general. I feel like Morphe was one of very few brands in the beginning that understood that having a relationship with social media influencers was a great opportunity, because I feel like a lot of brands before them were not really fucking around with social media influencers, i.e. MAC. I feel like one of the early brands, like I'm thinking like Morphe, Anastasia Beverly Hills, Benefit, Tarte. Like these were brands that very early on were like, yo, we need to have relationships with influencers and focus on our social media presence. I feel like affiliate discount codes were probably existing before this, but I feel like Morphe really took like the reins of that and was like, I just remember like, use my code, blah, 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 to save 10% off at Morphe. And like, I remember when you could use it in stores, and like I remember like Morphe was one of the first brands that really utilized discount codes and affiliate kind of partnerships with influencers, which definitely like pushed their products heavy, which then leads into a little bit of controversy. At one point, everybody had a Morphe code, and it was like, oh, like MAC brushes versus Morphe brushes, like quality tests, and it was like, make sure you use my code. Oh my God, you have to get this palette, you have to do this, my Morphe faves, this and that. That to me was one of their first controversies when it came to the social media space, because so many people started to like squint at influencers and be like, wait, are you only pushing it because you make a lot of money from this? Like, I remember hearing what some of these people made from their discount codes, and it was insane. Salaries, people's salaries in a month. I was like, those days are long and gone, and I've talked to some of the biggest influencers. Maybe there's other influencers who are still making that much money, but like what they were making back then, like 2016, 2017, 2018, like, oh my God, it was ungodly money what I would hear. I'm like, should I get a Morphe discount? Because I was like, oh my God, these bitches are raking in money. Money, dude. They were raking in money. That's really what led into a lot of their controversies. I feel like their close kind of relationships with influencers, because then the influencers themselves became kind of controversial, you know? I think like the first person to really like expose like, yo, these people are making a shit ton of money. And like, that's when like FCC wasn't as like cracked down on influencers, where you had to disclose that you made money off of promoting that discount code. So influencers were pushing that code, and a lot of them were never disclosing that they actually made money from that discount code. Like, I remember like the first person that really like exposed a lot of that was, may she rest in peace, Here for the Tea, Sam, where she exposed like, yo, these people are pushing, even like some of their products weren't the best, and they were being pushed as like great products because the girlies were making money. The girlies were making money. I don't know. Like, I don't know if like, yeah, no. I mean, Morphe was creating the product that was like garnering controversy, even though it was like tied to the influencer. Kind of like, okay, so remember like the Jaclyn Hill like palette dramas, right? Like, I remember her first one, which was like iconic. It was like the one with like the blue. I'll show it here on the screen. Everybody had that palette. Everybody had that palette. Every makeup artist, every working makeup artist, every influencer, everybody who liked makeup, that was the palette. And I remember like the first controversy was like when they switched over, well, they didn't switch, but like it was no longer vegan, and they never like announced it. And people like found out about that, and people were like, yo, like you can't just like have marketed something as vegan and then all of a sudden it's no longer vegan and y'all don't disclose that. And I remember they had to like come out and say it. I think even Jaclyn had to like issue a statement. So that to me was Morphe's fault, right? So then they had another Jaclyn drama. I'm going to be using a blush stick, same blush stick. They had more drama with Jaclyn when she did the Vault collection with kind of like smaller palettes. The quality was very bad. And I remember I got the palette, and before I even had a chance to like play with it and review it, influencers were already uploading reviews on it and talking about, yo, this quality is horrible. Yo, this is bad. This is bad. And like everybody else was talking about it. And it's like, yo. And I remember they got into even more controversy, not just for that, not just for the quality, but because they took 6 weeks to remake everything, all the product. And everybody in makeup was like, that's literally impossible. How are y'all doing this in just 6 weeks? I remember that had a lot of controversy. And even then, the quality wasn't that great. Like, nobody ever raved about those palettes, to be quite honest. And Jaclyn got a lot of hate. I remember when she did the video where she addressed that, she looked so sickening with like the long straight hair, and she's just in her living room in like a white t-shirt and just diamonds. And it's like, what are you guys talking about? She's like, look at all these palettes that I have in my house and they were great. Oh, iconic moments in beauty history. I'm not gonna lie. Right after that, they come out with Morphe X James Charles, another controversial sister, if I may say so myself. And I just remember when James was planning this, I was like, this is so smart, almost like a rainbow of a palette. Like, you can create any look with this. There was like little controversies. I remember the pink, it stains, but I remember like that was the only real controversy with it. Other than that, it was a great palette. Like, I still like use the mini one sometimes when I travel, if I know I'm gonna have to do something like fun with makeup, because it's easy and it has all the colors in it and it's just little. A lot of people didn't like the mini palette. I personally like the mini palette. So I feel like that launch, because it was so just like huge. James went to the UK to open up a store. Like, I remember the store openings were such a big thing as well. Like, you had influencers flying to different cities to open these stores, and it was like, yo, like hella people would show up, and it was like, Morphe stores, Morphe stores, Morphe stores. Another big controversial moment happened with Miss Jeffree Star. Like, I feel like Jeffree Star Cosmetics was such like a connected brand with Morphe. If I'm not mistaken, Morphe was the only retailer where you could buy his product in person. You could only find them in Morphe stores. And I saw a TikTok of this girl, which leads me to the next part of that controversy, which was when Morphe cuts their ties with Jeffree. I feel like that was very much a changing point in Morphe's trajectory, to be quite honest, because at that point, Morphe had already been bought out, if I'm not mistaken. Like, a large share of the company, if not the whole company, was already bought out by a different company, by Forma, right? Forma or somebody like that. And they decided to cut ties with Jeffree, like fully cut ties with him. They're like, we are no longer selling his stuff at all. I saw a TikTok by this girl that was like, yo, when they cut Jeffree's products, they cut off a lot of money coming into the stores. She said in her video, I can't verify this, she just said it in her TikTok video. If you go on TikTok and you do like the hashtag like justice for Morphe employees, she said that Jeffree Star products in Morphe stores was 60% of the store's revenue. His products rarely went on sale, and if you think about it, he was definitely driving in a lot more money than Jaclyn and James, because Jaclyn and James had collabs with Morphe. So once that palette is done and sold, unless they renew that contract, that palette is done. And even then, it's just that. So then they would kind of create their like favorite brush set. With Jeffree's products, he had all his own products, the lipsticks, the powders, the highlights, the eyeshadows, and he had reoccurring launches throughout the year. So he has a launch this season, which comes with like a palette, a mirror, a highlight, a lip scrub. So it comes with different products. So I can imagine it being right that it was about 60% of the store's revenue. So when they cut that kind of relationship with him, I can see them not making as much money in store. Which leads me now to what's happening to the stores. We have made the difficult decision to close all Morphe stores in the US. They just tweeted this like a few hours ago. Morphe, what's going on? Oh, wow. What are the quote tweets saying? I didn't know it was all stores. I really thought it was just like maybe like half of all their stores, all stores in the US. We are forever grateful to our store teams for their passion, talent, and dedication over the years. Customers can continue to shop Morphe online and at select retailers. Morphe stores outside the US will remain open. So I decided to do my brows, and I decided to do this eye because I was like, there's so much pink, and I wanted to be like very much like, what am I having? Am I having a boy? Am I having a girl? Like, we don't know, right? So I thought like this beautiful blue eye would be just so pretty. And I haven't done a blue eye in a minute, so. Is my lash lifting? So for palettes, I'm using the Oceanic palette by Ace Beauté. It looks like this. I'm literally only using this color, and I think this on the lid. And also I'm using the Candy Skies by Laura Lee Los Angeles X Erin Weaver. This beautiful blue, just to like really transition it out into the rest of the skin. I was literally watching The Hills during like while I was making this eye. Would you guys want to see like a video of me talking about The Hills as I do my makeup? And we just talk about like the nonsense and kind of like how I feel about it now. I don't know. Let me know down in the comment section down below for all my millennial girlies who grew up watching Laguna Beach and The Hills and The City. I only want to do The Hills. I couldn't watch Laguna Beach. It's literally like children in high school. Like that doesn't, and it's like reality. Like I could watch Euphoria, but I can't watch Laguna Beach. Like, no. So I started to like go down the hashtag and be like, yo, what's going on? So apparently, based on what these people on TikTok are saying, and they're like Morphe employees, are that on December 22nd, they got notice that their stores were going to be closed by December 26th. So like days notice, not even a week. And supposedly some of them got severance like 1 to 3 weeks, depending on like your level within the company. So I'm guessing like the managers got like 3 weeks severance, as to where maybe like just retail employees got 1 week. I'm still not 100% sure if everybody got severance, so that I'm not 100% sure on. But I do think it's kind of shitty. I'm not gonna lie, Morphe. If we're keeping it 100, I think it's really shitty that I'm pretty sure y'all knew y'all were gonna make this decision way before this month. I mean, last month of December. To only give them like a 1 week notice was kind of like, come on, Morphe. Like y'all could have given them a month. Y'all could have given these employees a month, because a lot of those employees were giving like months, if not like a few years of their life. I don't know for how many years a lot of these stores were open, but some of them were saying like, I've been working here for 2 years. So imagine working at a store for 2 years and then they tell you, hey, we're closing the store in 4 days. So everybody's now having to find a job. And like these employees kind of like, you know, you make that feeling of community within your job, and you get to like, it feels like a family in a sense. Like the people that you work with, like you end up creating those relationships with them. And like one part that like was a little sad, I'm not gonna lie, one of the girls, she had uploaded that it was really weird that not even like a month ago, like it seemed like November, October, they had promoted some of these employees to management positions. She was trying not to let it get to her that people were commenting on her video telling her that they probably promoted you to store manager so that you would stay and help them close the store. And then some of them were saying that they probably didn't give them enough notice because then the employees would have found other jobs and left, and like the closing of the stores would have been a bigger hassle because then they would have had to hire other people to help close all those stores. And I'm like, wow, wow, Morphe. Like, Morphe. And there's still like a lot of employees that are still like talking about their experiences. A lot of them are basically having to forcefully start a new chapter in their life, having to no longer work at a company that they probably loved and they were able to like express their artistry with their makeup and like help people further explore their artistry with makeup. We're basically going into another recession in this country. So imagine having to find a job right now. And I've been seeing so many videos on how they're automating like fast food places and so many jobs like all across everywhere. Like everything's being automated to where I'm like, yo, it's like, it's hard for all those employees to now have to find jobs, especially in their study. So like, imagine like if there's 30 employees at that store, there's now 30 people trying to find a job. I don't know. That just, it sucks. I'm not gonna lie, it sucks, Morphe. Like, I definitely think they could have, not even think, they definitely could have handled the situation a lot better. It seems like the way they just be letting people go, it seems like Morphe is focused on Morphe. And a lot of these corporations are like that. But I will say, every time Morphe messes up, they do try to like make it better and try to fix the problem. So hopefully they see this whole situation as like, yo, we really didn't handle the situation right. And honestly, like give them like 2-3 weeks, like give all your employees 3 weeks, like 3 weeks paid, give them a month paid. Like if they had done that to where it's like, yo, like I know this is really sudden, but you're all gonna get like 1 month paid after this. That way, like it really just, the shock of it kind of starts to go away. They're able to get their resume in order. They're able to go out, apply places and interview at places. I think they should have done that. They definitely should have done something like that because 4 days notice, 3 days notice, that's not enough. Hopefully a lot of them, if not all of them, are able to get back on their feet and not be stuck in like a really shitty situation because people got bills to pay and it's not cheap to live in America. It is not cheap, okay? For lashes, I'm using the Lily Lashes Sephora Miami lash, which is faux mink. I just love this lash. Like, I think it's like the most beautiful lash in the entire world. And also because the eye isn't so pulled out, I try to do like a very winged lash, which I always do. And I hated it. It looked weird. So yeah, now based on those tweets, they're closing all Morphe stores. To be quite honest, I think what they should have done was only had like 5 stores open in the US. They never really needed physical stores. If we think about it, the brand that had all those physical stores, MAC, is no longer that top brand. And Morphe's biggest success was being an online retailer. I get that they wanted to create like physical stores, but I think they only should have focused on like 5 stores, like almost like flagship stores. Like 2 in LA, 1 in New York, 1 in Miami, and 1 in Houston because I'm from Houston and I love Houston. Or like Dallas, somewhere in like Texas, somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? And have people like only go to those stores if they ever want to go to a Morphe store. It's one of those instances they bit off more than they can chew. I don't think anybody really could have foreshadowed quarantine and what life after quarantine was going to be like because so many people like focused on online shopping that people still to this day, like I still to this day focus a lot more on online shopping than in-store physical shopping. I feel like for in-store physical shopping, I go for like jeans. I feel like jeans are really hard to buy online, I'm not gonna lie, unless you know that specific company and that specific brand, but I feel like jeans are so hard to buy. And I don't even have like a custom body where I need like custom jeans. Like, have you ever seen those influencers with the BBLs and they look crazy and like it's like big ol' ass, big ol' hips and like little thighs and like little waist? Those jeans are customly tailored. Although, yes, I did customize my body. I don't have to buy custom clothing. Like, clothing fits me, which I appreciate, you know. Well, I am complaining about fits. No, I still buy a lot of jeans online from ASOS, and they fit great. Blue just looks so pretty with brown eyes. Like, whatever, you blue-eyed girlies are like, blue eyeshadow looks better with blue eyes. No, it doesn't, babes. Look at this. With my brown eyes, like, it's like piercing. Mm. You know what? Just in honor of it being a Morphe video, this is my favorite Morphe product. This is the Continuous Setting Mist. They sent me like a super jumbo one, which is $23. It says a $39 value. Morphe, y'all are upping y'all's prices. And that was y'all's whole thing, like being very affordable and having like a lower price point. So if y'all are gonna be treating y'all's employees like that and raising y'all's prices, I don't know. In this new wave of a lot of makeup brands coming out and like celebrity makeup brands coming out and being able to like now support brands, corporations, and individuals that you want to support, y'all got to start treating y'all's employees a lot better if y'all want that continued support from y'all's loyal customer. I could go buy a setting mist from somebody else. I could go buy brushes from somebody else. Morphe, I'm gonna need y'all to get it together because I like Morphe. Like I have such like a maybe like a nostalgic relationship with them because they've been around for so long. As I like really entered into the makeup beauty space, like Morphe was such like a key player. I would hate for them to like really ruin it for themselves, you know? So hopefully they do something about this because that tweet saying like, oh, so we closed all our stores. Like, I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough. This is the Lunar Beauty lip oil in the shade Love Me Baby. Love Me. But I like to add baby at the end of everything. I feel like a high-end hooker, you know? I have this one nose hair. This might be TMI, but I have this one nose hair that's like white. And it's like right on the edge of my like nose. So it like always pops out and I'm like, what is that? Is that like a brush hair? Okay, everyone, this is the final look. And this is now the end of the video. I want to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comment section down below. I want to know your thoughts in general about Morphe, Morphe's history, as well as how Morphe has been handling this situation with closing their stores. If you guys have seen anything on the TikTok For You page, if you haven't seen anything and you like this cheesemate as well, let me know. I'm always down to like gossip with y'all. I'm a chismosa, like I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm nosy and I'm a messy bitch who loves drama. And I'm like, what's going on over there? I'm no longer in it, okay? Remember, I used to be a messy bitch who was in it all the time and I'm no longer in it. So I still love drama, you know what I mean? Maybe in 2023 I'll get into something. Some of y'all like, no, Gabriel, you've been so good. Don't get into drama. But like, I miss it. Like, I kind of miss like that 2018, 2019 drama era. I don't know. I'll think about it. You guys, if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you're not already, make sure you subscribe to my channel and you hit that notification bell so you can be notified exactly when I upload a brand new video because I've been real consistent. Y'all been seeing those frequent uploads. Like, what? I'm out of my depression, y'all. Okay, and until next time, bye everyone.